Hello, my name is Marley and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Thank you for clicking on this video, and I encourage you to subscribe to my channel for more bookish videos. But for today, I'm going to be continuing my little series, you could call it, that I've been doing, where I do tarot readings that recommend you a book. So if you're struggling with knowing which book to read next, keep watching, do the tarot reading, and I will recommend you a book based on your reading. As always, I would like to credit Ariel Bissett for originally doing this video, and I would like to shout out the author of the tarot deck, which is Sasha Fenton. So this is the one I'm going to be using for the reading. So let's shuffle the cards. So as you will see, I am shuffling the cards, and then I will be dealing out 3 different piles for you to choose from. So this is pile 1, and then this is 2, and then this is pile 3. So just take a moment, take a deep breath, and see which pile is drawing your attention, and that will be your chosen pile. Then you can go down to the description and pick the timestamp for your pile. So hello, this is pile number 1. This is your reading. So the first card that showed up for you is the Fool. You can see a young man who's a little bit naive walking over a cliff. Your second card is Death, so that's fun. And then your third card is the Empress, which shows a woman with an abundance of fruits. So, hi group 1, let's get into your reading and your book recommendation. So as you just saw, your first card is the Fool. So this card represents innocence and having a fresh start or a new idea. So that could be a new relationship, a new business venture, new education or course of study, or maybe just starting a new journey of some kind. It's an optimistic card and it promises success. It also can represent having a free spirit. So I think for your book, it will be taking place at the start of a new journey, or maybe the main character is a very optimistic and potentially naive main character. The second card you got is the Death card, but don't be afraid. This card represents an ending, but that doesn't necessarily have to be a life ending. It's sort of similar to the other card where something is ending so that something else can begin. So again, maybe this is a bad job or a bad relationship, or maybe an illness that is coming to an end to make room for something new. So big changes are happening in your next book. And your final card was the Empress. So as you can imagine from looking at it, this card represents abundance and fruitfulness. It can also represent motherhood and fertility. So this is a promising card that represents having happiness in your life in areas such as marriage or with children. So I think your book may be about starting a new marriage or starting a new family. So after deliberating on your cards, I decided that the book I wanted to recommend you is actually kind of a group or series of books by Colleen Hoover. So to start, I would recommend reading Hopeless and All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover, which are 2 full-length books. And that way you can read 2 of her novellas or short stories that are called Finding Cinderella and Finding Perfect. Both of the first individual stories, which is Hopeless and All Your Perfects, are sort of sad and depressing books, but then the novellas show our characters having that bad time come to an end and a new beginning that has to do with children and family, and I don't want to give too much away, but if you've already read these 2 Colleen Hoover books, definitely check out those 2 novellas, Finding Cinderella and Finding Perfect. If you haven't read any of them, then read that whole series of books I just mentioned. If you want to read books that have a really nice payoff for the characters who have gone through something hard and finally get what they want, which is a family. So that is my recommendation for those who chose pile number 1. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Hi group 2, let's take a look at your cards. So the first one you got is the Magician card. Your Your second card is Justice. And your final card is the Sun. Hello, group number 2. Time for me to go through your cards. So first of all, you had the Magician. So this card represents the message of desire and then creation or manifestation. Specifically, it shows that you have all of the tools that you need, as the Magician has all of the tools with him there to carry out your goals and start a new journey, perhaps. So this makes me think that your next book that you should read has very talented characters that have a lot of skills, maybe even like a fantasy where they have powers. The next card that you guys got was Justice, and this card is a little self-explanatory. The card represents justice and fairness and truth, so I think that this card shows that by the end of your book, goodness will prevail, the good guys will win, and it seems like you really just need a book with a happy ending right now, which honestly we all need that. And your final card that you got was the Sun. Again, this represents positivity, joy, and success. I feel like your book will have really happy vibes, maybe have some children in it, and maybe even take place during the summer or somewhere very sunny. So immediately when looking at your cards, the books, or rather the book series that called to me was the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. As we said, your book should have characters with a lot of skills and powers, which all of the main characters in Percy Jackson do, as they are demigods, so they are half god, half human. And of course, justice always prevails in the Percy Jackson series. It's about Percy and his friends beating the bad guys, and there's a lot of positive vibes in the book as they are really funny. The humor is great, and I think they normally take place in the summer, as the main headquarters for the demigods is a camp called Camp Half-Blood. So I think the books normally do take place in the summer. So this is clearly the book, or the book series rather, that is being recommended to you today from the reading. Happy reading. Thank you so much for watching group 2. I hope you will subscribe and let me know what you thought of your recommendation below, and I'll see you in my next video. Hi group 3, let's take a look at your cards for your reading. Your first card is the Devil. The next card is the World. And lastly, we have the High Priestess. Hello, group 3. Thank you for choosing pile 3. Let's get into what your cards mean for what book you should be reading. So the first card you got is interesting. It was the Devil, which I actually don't see pop up very often. As you can figure what kind of vibes this card has, it does represent materialism, addiction, guilt, and like bad influences in general. It can also represent bondage, so being locked into something, such as like a mortgage or some sort of other obligation. Your next card is a little happier. It is the World, and this card represents fulfillment or completion and like coming full circle, as you can see the ring around the woman here. So it can mean naturally moving on from something into a new phase of life and following a cycle. So I think something will be coming to an end in your book. Your third card was the High Priestess. So this card shows a woman who is very intuitive and logical, and perhaps it could represent learning or teaching being involved. So I think your book might have to do with a period of study or learning a new skill, or maybe there is a female mentor that is prominent. So for this reading, immediately the book that popped up in my head was a recent read for me, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This follows a fictional band that was very popular in the 70s, and with it being about a rock band, there's definitely a lot of questionable things that go on, such as drug addiction, materialism, other bad influences from being on the road and touring, which definitely fits the Devil card that showed up. In terms of your card, the World, which represents an ending and a new beginning, this whole book is about finding out why the band ended up breaking up and never making any more albums together. So I think that definitely fits the ending of the band and all of the band members having to move on onto like a new phase of their lives. And a huge part of the book is is focusing on the lead singer Daisy Jones, and I think she could be the one that the High Priestess is meaning. She has to learn a lot of new skills, as do the rest of the band, and she also teaches the band a lot too. So that is your recommendation, group 3. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please let me know, and please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!